Keep yourself in the loop of everything football on the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast. The latest news on and off the field, be it college football, Big Ten, SEC, Big 12, Pac-12, ACC to the NFL. We've got you covered. Listen to the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast.
What's up, everybody? You are tuned in to the GSMC Football Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I am your guy, your host, DJ Youngs. Welcome back, everybody. I am so excited for today. But first, the greetings. So, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. I just like to cover all the salutations, as I know anybody could be listening to this at any time, any place, anywhere. All right. But I'm really excited, man. They came out with the schedules. The schedules are out, and we get to talk about them. Thank goodness. Things get quiet after the draft. It's a little nerve-wracking in the football world if you're just really just hoping for something. That's why you watch the television and lean on whatever little thing come out. It don't even be about football half the time. Somebody texts somebody else, and I don't know, shoot, they could be talking about people being a couple these days. Anything but football, which I'm so glad we're coming close to. But I'm not going to just spill all of that early. That's definitely going to go into the segments. You know how we do the show. We're going to start off with the new news first. So we're in this segment now. Then I'm going to move on, and I'm going to jump into some things. I'm going to first just talk about week 1. All right, we're going to start there, see what we see. What I like, what's going to be interesting to note, all right? Then I want to the only two full schedules I want to check out are, of course, the two, people that went to the Super Bowl. So the Super Bowl champs, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and, the runner-ups, and the Kansas City Chiefs. I want to see, what are the chances of one, both, or none of those teams getting back to the Super Bowl this year. All right, we're going to take that journey. All right, then, of course, we're going to have to talk about some of the hot topics that a lot of people are talking about when it comes to matchups that we see, which, ones to watch out for during the holidays, which ones in specific weeks are going to mean something. We're going to talk about that, man. That's what a lot of people got going on, because we're happy to see what's going to be the matchups. It's a 17-game year. So that means an extra week of football for us. Super, super excited. All right. So let's jump into new news real quick so we can hurry up and get there, right? Time is ticking, man. I think between this episode and the last episode, the most exciting thing I got to start the show off with. And it looks like Tim Tebow is going to be in the NFL again, playing for the Jaguars. I know you're like, what? They just drafted first off a quarterback. What you mean going to the Well, in case you've been under a rock for multiple days because this has been out. No, he's not coming back as a quarterback. He's coming back as a tight end. So expected, to sign at 33 a 1-year contract that has him playing tight end for his hometown, Jacksonville Jaguars. This is a position he never played in high school, college, or his previous 3 years in the NFL. So it's quite interesting. I wonder if it's one of those situations where he did not believe in himself, or maybe, he just knew it wasn't working out at that position. So they were leaning, he was trying to maneuver to something he knew would work and translate well for him in the NFL, so that he can be back in it. Because we all know he wants to play. We all want to play, so it makes sense. Now, the way it came out, though, is that word leaked first, toward the day of the draft that Tebow had, worked out with the Jaguars. That was just like, out there. And they said he worked at a tight end, but I don't think anyone really looked into it too much until, the GM for the Jags, Trent Balk, I think that's how you pronounce the name. He confirmed everything, and we heard that it came out. So the Jaguars already have about 5 tight ends, though, on the roster, which is the interesting thing, right? Because, clearly you didn't need a 6, so what's the catch here? Now, you got to note, for those that don't know, he will be reuniting with the Jaguars head coach, Urban Meyer, who coached Tebow at Florida and won their pair of national championships with the Gators, together. So they have history. I'm pretty sure Tebow is going to be much more than a tight end if he's even truly playing tight end. For all we know, he's going to be coaching. He's going to be a mentor. He's going to be a minister. He's going to do it all. He's going to be Tebow, and that's going to be fun to watch. I think I'm going to be looking forward because I just want to see how he does. I mean, let's be honest. I don't know. I mean, he's an athletic guy, so I'm sure he can at least catch, right? He went to play some minor league baseball. I think he made it to the All-Star game. So, I mean, it's not like he's out of shape since he's been out of NFL. He's still been keeping in shape, trying to play some professional ball here or there. Because, I mean, he hasn't played football since 2015 NFL preseason. And like I said, he spent the past 6 years working as a broadcaster on the SEC network and on his professional baseball career. So that kind of shows you that, he stayed involved and he also stayed in shape. So his 3 seasons in the league, he played for Denver, he played for New York, the Jets, the Patriots, and Philly. But apparently he's decided, hey, I'm going to come back. I'm going to get, a clean slate, something completely new, and we're going to make it happen. All right, let's do it. I'm intrigued. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but we're going to see if it's Tebow time. All right, next up, former Carolina quarterback Teddy Bridgewater basically came out to the media and questioned how the Panthers practiced in 2 critical areas that played a part in the organization moving on from him after the first year of 3-year contract. He said, I'll just say this. For Joe Brady's growth, they'll have to practice different things in different ways. Bridgewater said, about the Carolina offensive coordinator, all things covered, he said this on the podcast, all things covered, with Patrick Peterson and Brian McFadden. So, the way that he described it, he says, one of the things we didn't do much of when I was there, we didn't practice 2-minute drills, we didn't practice red zone, we didn't practice on Fridays, but you walked through the red zone stuff, and then Saturday you came out and practiced red zone, but you got only 15 live reps. Ooh, so really putting a lot of information out there, if you ask me there, Teddy. I don't know how well you're going to do with trust among your new team, office, and coaching staff. I mean, because even if you feel like you're doing it all right, I don't know how comfortable I'll be around a guy that's, going to really just put out our schemes. I mean, not like formation schemes, but like, what they have in place in order to prepare their guys. Like, I don't know. But you gotta. It might reflect why he played the way he played, I guess. Bridgewater led all quarterbacks with 5, red zone turnovers. He was 0 of 8 in games with Panthers had a chance to win or tie with their final possession. So definitely falling short. Apparently, he also reminded listeners that he didn't have running back Christian McCaffrey for 13 games due to his injury. So he too, just like most of us, feel that was detrimental to them. Made it harder for people to pull on play actions for sure. I believe. But yeah, they moved on from him, and you could see that it looked like he didn't have a problem with that. He said it is what it is. That's how he feel about it. For the first time, this was his first time talking since the trade. Really, he said I told them once the season ended, I wear I wear big boy draws, and I understand the nature of this business, and it's a performance-based business. So he understood and made his walk away. All right. Next up, Detroit Lions first round pick Penei Sewell is going to miss his rookie minicamp after testing positive for COVID-19. Yeah, so I think I remember hearing about a few guys couldn't go to the draft because they had tested positive. I think we even recall seeing people like record it after they got drafted just on a video call by themselves because they couldn't be around other people. So they couldn't, also fly them out and stuff like that. And now one of the top guys, again, Penei Sewell, unfortunately, has tested positive. He was the 7th overall pick out of Oregon. And, he said, found out this past weekend I tested positive for COVID. Really wish I was heading to my new home today and able to be at minicamp with my new teammates and coaches. Look forward to getting out of the D as soon as I'm cleared. So he said he's trying to get there, man. It's just he probably can't make it until this passes over and, we all get healthy here. We know we're trying to be safe and not spread, so I'm glad, he made the right choice because I know he's excited to get out of there. Detroit's rookie minicamp is set for May 14th through 16th, so that's, later this week, but he'll be having to sit down for at least another week before he can get out there, which we all know they're excited to get him out there too, so it's not like I don't think anyone believes that he's going to, miss much. They're definitely going to want to get him in and accustomed to their ways very quickly. All right. Brett Favre is always. I feel like there's been a Brett Favre story like every week now. I don't know. Things just keep coming up about Brett Favre. But retired NFL quarterback Brett Favre has yet to pay back $600,000 he received from the state of Mississippi for multiple speaking events where he never showed up. All right, now this is coming from authorities. Apparently, Favre promised to repay the state after an audit released in May 2020 received $1.1 million revealed that $1.1 million had been paid to his company, Favre Enterprises. The amount was part of $94 million in welfare spending that was questioned by auditors who said they either saw clear misspending or could not verify whether money was lawfully spent. All right, so a little different than what he's usually in the news for, because usually, he's just talking a lot. If you ask me, it's always Brett Favre said this, Brett Favre said that. Now it's kind of about what Brett Favre didn't say. He didn't go do these speeches, and he owes money. And when you mess with the government go come get their money. You should know that. They want that money, man. Favre, who lives in Mississippi, so makes it easier for them to find him, made an initial payment of $500,000 to the state a few days after the report was released. But someone had said a spokesman for Mississippi audit said that the office has not heard from Favre since. He kind of released that. Then Favre's agent didn't return any information then. They're still looking for some money. They still say there's plenty missing, right? And I don't think we've heard much from Brett Favre about it either. So that's how that is looking there. Brett, hey man, you're going to have to pay them. You live there. They're going to find you, bro. Also, I did mess up because usually I like to start off by sending my rest in peace. But this one is one that I actually looked over. But Colt Brennan, who was NCAA, who holds multiple NCAA records as quarterback for his time that he spent at the University of Hawaii, has passed away. His father, Terry Brennan, reported this. He passed away at 37. He told ESPN that his son died early Tuesday morning at a hospital in Newport Beach, California. The day before, paramedics were called to a hotel room where Colt Brennan had been with other people. Terry Brennan said his son had ingested something laced with fentanyl and never regained consciousness. So yeah, tough story for those who are unfamiliar with Colt. Yeah, he definitely holds like multiple records. He had his success 2005 to 2007, where he helped the white football team, um, put him on the map. Really, he passed for more than 4,000 yards 3 times, including for 5,549 in 2006. In that season, he set the single season record for touchdown passes with 58. The record was then surpassed by Joe Burrow during the 2019 season. Brennan is fourth all time in career touchdown passes with 131. He finished sixth in the Heisman voting in 2006 and third in 2007. And in his 2007, he finished with a regular season 12-0 and 10th in the AP poll. But so yeah, definitely send well wishes and condolences to his family. Also, guys, note that he was quite a swaggy guy. I did, I'm a little unfamiliar with him, but based off my research and things that I've heard people speak about, is that he made football look real clean. But sending all the love out there for sure. Okay, a Louisiana man. I really like starting it off like that because for people that knows about the Florida man joke and how that goes, but a Louisiana man who's seriously ill son gained fame in New Orleans for his devotion to the Saints football team. He was sentenced to 8 years in prison for drug trafficking and for fraudulent capitalizing on his son's ill with a phony charity. Yeah, so Jordy Robertson, 37 years old. His son had, a serious illness, which made him famous because he definitely would, that's how he got around the New Orleans Saints team. And this was a team would really, hype his son up, give him love, show him love, and all that kind of stuff. So this gave him, the credibility and this fame that the father took advantage of. It's not right, but it's what happened. He had a fake charity set up, I guess, basically laundering money, and then on top of that, like, the guy is literally a drug trafficker. So he's no telling what he's doing all of that, and how he might have used his son in a very inappropriate way. So I'm glad they found out, and they were able to sentence him to 8 years, which I'm guessing that means it was, non-violent, because he probably would have got more time if that was the case. But he will be seeing his day in court. So going on and on and on. All right, Indianapolis Colts find new starting left tackle because they reached a deal with ex-Kansas City Eric Fisher. Man, I've been waiting on Eric to get a deal out here. I don't know about y'all, but I know that I've been repeating that multiple times. All right, so the Colts are signing left tackle Eric Fisher, like I said, to a 1-year, $9.4 million deal. So he'll be protecting Carson Wentz now. There's no doubt that, Fisher can do his thing. We all know this. All right. But, it's the injury that had put a question mark on it. All right. He suffered a torn Achilles in the AFC Championship game against the Buffalo Bills earlier this year. Fisher also missed half of 2019 season with a core muscle injury. So I'm pretty sure the Chiefs, took that into account when they released him, and then I'm pretty sure the Colts are taking this into account, bringing him in. But I mean, he's worth it if you get him healthy. If you haven't seen him go at it, you'll know that Fisher will get it done. All right, the Colts actually need him a lot too because they gotta make sure Carson Wentz has no excuse on why he's throwing interceptions. He needs all the protection he can get. All right, the Colts gave up only 21 sacks last season, so he's joining a good group, that can hold it down. That's at least half the sacks that get put on Russell Wilson per season. So good job, O-line. You're doing something right. At least 2 to 3 you guys are, right? That's solid. All right. So he'll, like I said, he joined some good guys. You got Quentin Nelson on there, who's been in my top 10 linemen. You got right guard Mark Glowowski, center Ryan Kelly, right tackle Braden Smith. Strong guys. All right. He's look. They made Pro Bowls and all pro athletes here. These aren't just anybody. So even if Fisher isn't his full self right away, when he gets back, he'll have some people that hold him up, man. Excited about that. But yeah, man, hey, are y'all excited about this schedule? I didn't know that I would be this excited until I had to sit here and really just wait, because basketball isn't as exciting for me right now since, I live in Houston and root for the Rockets. So I haven't been really turning them games on. You know why? We ain't got to get into it. So football is what I got to go off of. I'm glad I don't have a team to stress me out, but that makes it, I feel like, even more to look forward to as an individual that loves just all games. So that's what I want to talk about, man. I definitely want to get into it. I want to talk about what is going on week 1. But first, we have to take a short break. All right? So stay tuned. Be right back.
Are you looking for help for your fantasy football team? Check out the GSMC Fantasy Football Podcast. Get today's best advice on who to start, who to sit, even who you should draft. From sleeper picks to red-hot lineups, they got it all covered for you. That's gsmcpodcast.com/fantasy-football-podcast. We'll cover traditional leagues, dynasty, PPR, even IDP leagues. When you need fantasy help, there's just one show to hit up. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit gsmcpodcast.com for more info.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for your patience, man. Did you hear that commercial about the fantasy football? Hey, you need to listen to that because it's time to get ready. We talked about players. We talked about, who went to what team, so we know the matchup. Then we talked about the draft. All right, the draft came along, and with that information, we also was able to learn who were going to be on what team, who people going to be matching up with, playing what type of schemes, under what type of coaches. All right, so you got that information, and now you have the final puzzle piece, and that is seeing where they'll be playing each week, what their schedule looks like. You already know they're going to have to play certain teams twice, the ones that's in their divisions, but now you see every other one and can see if it's, something that's going to start off slow and get better, or if they might be able to have the easiest or hardest schedule out of all teams. Now, if you're a real analyst, you're doing all that stuff. Like the guys that do good in that type of stuff, they got the analytics, all right? Because I'm not going to lie. When it comes to sports, especially football, it takes a little bit more than, you just watching and doing an eye test and sit. Because there's a lot of guys out here doing a lot of great things. And those great things that might go unnoticed are what's moving the needle for their wins. All right. So let's get into week 1, man. I'm telling you, bro. I don't know what I need to do to prepare for this exactly. But just know there will be no distractions. Sunday, September 12th. Oh yeah. I won't do anything but sit on my couch, kick my feet up. I'll probably have some great snacks. I'll make sure I have a great Sunday lunch and dinner. All right. Phone might be on vibrate, so don't call me, don't text me, because I'm tuned in trying to see every snap I can. For those that don't know, I do have the technology on my television to where I can watch multiple games at once. Not bragging, just happy I got it. Man. And that's because I'm going to need to be able to see everything that's happening, because there are some great matchups on week 1. Even the ones that you think, oh, that might not be nothing. You are asleep. We got to talk about this. All right. So let's talk about the very first game. The very first game that we all get that will open up the season. Of course, guys, this is after preseason and stuff like that, so you'll get to see a little bit more before it. But to officially go on the record, to make your way to the bowl, Thursday, September 9th, the Dallas Cowboys will be in Tampa Bay, man. God dog it, at Raymond James Stadium. I'm excited. Clearly most people are excited because the lowest ticket to get it in that game is like over $300 already. All right, and I'm excited because one, just you already heard my excitement just because football. 2, Dak's back. 3, Tom Brady's back plus his entire squad. Tampa Bay's defense. Dallas elite offense. And the thing is, Dallas, looks great like they did on paper last year. But they getting tested this time, man. They coming in and it's like, prove yourself. Imagine if Dallas pulls this off. Oh my goodness. Oh man. If Dallas goes in here and puts a whooping on Tampa Bay, and look, I know all them Dallas fans out there can't stop smiling right now just by hearing me say this, because I know we can't put too much trust in them, but I'm just, think about it, all right? It's a scenario. Dallas Cowboys come in there. Dak come in there with all his weapons, all right? Amari comes ready to play, and they got to come ready to play, all right? Zeke's ready to go, ready to push that thing out, man. CD Lamb. Oh man, let's get it. All right, I can't wait to see it. And let's not sleep on Tampa Bay's offense, and it will definitely be testing Dallas's defense that has been questionable, but they got themselves some new additions. All right, then goes Sunday. All right. Some of these 12, I'm in Central Time, guys, so 12 p.m. my time. These 12 o'clock games, it's looking intense, more intense than people think. One that people don't think will be intense, Philadelphia versus Atlanta, the Birds War, Eagles versus Falcons. 2 dynamic offense kind of put together, we're going to see where they at. We're going to see, look, Atlanta, y'all got possibly the best skill player in the draft. What are you going to do with him? How is Matt going to come out this season? As long as he still looks like Matt, you're good. But is he going to decline? Is he going to fall off that cliff or mountain that people like to just put older people on for some reason? It sounds very dangerous and irresponsible that they keep putting old people up there. But, hey, is he going to fall off? Is Jalen Hurts going to, not step up to the plate? Is he not going to get it done? Those are the questions that are going in there. All right. Bills versus Pittsburgh. I'm generally ready for that one. If I'm being honest, it sounds like it should be good, but I really think it's just going to be a great Buffalo show. Look, they're still under their great quarterback, great coaching staff, got their same skill players. Stephon Diggs coming back. I have no reason to bet against Buffalo, and I'm not picking teams yet. You guys will get that right before the games, all right? But matter of fact, it'll drop. That pod will drop the day of opening night. So Thursday, September 9th is when you're going to hear my predictions for each game. Nowhere sooner. So stick around till then, at least, right? But Buffalo, I'm just pretty sure they already have Pittsburgh's number, right? Based off how we ended last season, where we know Pittsburgh's at. I do think they made some great pickups in the draft. I really do. But I don't think that's enough, and they won't be with the team, long enough and work long enough to be able to defeat the Bills, I don't think. Now, the only way I could be wrong is if Mike makes me wrong, which means they get beat by coaching. But as far as the talent on the field alone, Buffalo, I believe, had this one. All right. Minnesota and Cincinnati. For those that don't think Cincinnati is going to come back ready to play, oh, don't be mistaken. Come on now. Y'all got to know that Joe is going to come back with a vengeance, right? I mean, unless you just don't believe in that, brother. But, I mean, who knows what's going on the rest of it for the season. Based off what I know and what I see, it might get a little hectic late after this game, or after a few. So I'm not going to even say that they're going to have a great season. That's hard to say right now. But for this game and this game alone, I can say that I think they could keep up with the Vikings. I think it could be competitive. And the thing is, it'll be because it's a competitive flow. It's not that I'm even diminishing the Vikings. I think that, Joe Burrow, him out there, his new top receiver, linking back up with his boy, Jamar Chase. He still got a healthy Joe Mixon coming out the backfield. T. Higgins also a receiver. Hopefully, like I said, they picked up, some stuff in the draft. But as far as like an O lineman, protecting him, and then the defense, they got, Jesse Bates is a really good DB. You've heard me mention him before. But outside of that, it could use a little work, in my opinion. Adding the addition of Awuzie out of Dallas just wasn't enough. If Minnesota's offense comes in be as dominant as it was that a year before last year? They did good last year too. Like, their rushing is top in the league for sure. Okay, they have Dalvin Cook. All right. So, and they also have their own weapons, including their LSU weapons and Justin Jefferson. So, I don't know how Justin's going to feel going against his old teammates, but I'm pretty sure he'll make sure that they recognize him. So, I'm pretty sure they're going to try to showcase Justin a lot. And then once they all focus on Justin, they going to kill him with Adam Thielen on the opposite side that they weren't paying attention to. We got some more protection for Kirk Cousins. I was thinking of Christian Kirk, but I don't know why. But Christian Dorsal is what I was looking at, and he's there protecting Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins apparently feel however you feel about them having Kellen Mond, but I'm pretty sure Kirk is still supposed to be starting. Now, in case that changes and Kellen Mond actually ends up starting for Week 1 for some reason, I think that's still going to be very interesting. I would like to see what he does. They did play against each other in college, didn't they? Yeah, and it'll be kind of like a rematch. Be a little rematch, and like I said, I don't know if it'll be a high scoring game. It might be, because I'm leaning on the offenses winning this game instead of the defenses. San Francisco 49ers versus Detroit. Okay, there's a lot of question marks on San Francisco's side. Detroit, I've kind of already spoke about them not doing too well this season. Not enough. Jared Goff is not the guy, if you ask me. So, that game, I might not watch. Just saying. Now, please prove me wrong. Please give me a reason to watch you. I want everybody to give me a reason to watch you. I don't want nobody to be bad this year, but I'm just telling it how it is. All right, another game I'm super excited about. I think that it will be better than a lot of people think. Arizona versus Tennessee. Okay, the Arizona Cardinals. All right, and then the Tennessee Titans are two teams that I think are going to have a lot of tricky plays, trying to mix it up a lot, because they have so many things that they are capable of. For starters, Arizona Cardinals, one of my favorite teams for this going into this season. Of course, they got Kyler Murray, right? We know that. But they got D-Hop, who's top receiver. A.J. Green, who's a veteran that is well-versed in what he do. Christian Kirk, who I told y'all don't sleep on. He's only on his way up. All right, in the backfield, they picked up James Conner, but I believe Chase Edmonds is still starting, so that's still a solid offense, man, real strong. Then on defense, they picked up J.J. Watt to join the line with Chandler Jones, Xavier Collins, Zach Allen, Rashard Lawrence. I think that's a good one, man. I think those guys are going to get back there. They got linebacker Isaiah Simmons. All right. I mean, look, those are the guys. Xavier, Isaiah, they're going to hold it down. I'll tell you that. Buda Baker is still out there. Malcolm Butler, and Jalen Thompson, all DBs that are well crafted. This is a strong team on paper now. All right, because again, I didn't learn my lesson on betting on paper with them Cowboys. All right, so it looks good, y'all. It looks good. Now they'll be going against Tennessee Titans, which the Tennessee Titans been doing their thing the last 2 years. Why have they been doing their things the last 2 years? Well, they got Derrick Henry going, and that guy's a freight train. Ryan Tannehill's, doing better. He's only getting better. He's working with good coaches that really knew how to help him up his style. Again, with Derrick's help, of course, it's easier to break down defenses. A.J. Brown had an amazing season last year, and I'm pretty sure he's going to come back and do the same. He's also, healthy, thank goodness. They also picked up Josh Reynolds from the Rams. Solid touchdown maker. That's something I used to always say about him while he was at Texas A&M, was that if anything, Josh was going to give you touchdowns. He might not have 20 catches, but he'll have 2 for a touchdown and, a lot of yards. All right. And then over on defense, Bud Dupree, Amari Hooker, Jeffrey Simmons. These are guys that, they're going to hold down. They also got Caleb Farley, somebody picked up. These are all guys that can make it happen. I'm excited. I'm excited to see these guys play. I just don't know what other word to use right now. All right, Seattle versus Indianapolis. Okay, I think that's an interesting game to watch. Los Angeles versus Washington. That offense, Justin Herbert doing his thing, seeing if he keeps all that and translate it over to his year 2 versus Washington's defense, which we've seen how aggressive they are. Is Herbert going to get push through? Is Washington going to fall off? We're going to see. The New York Jets versus the Carolina Panthers. Jacksonville Jaguars going against the Texans. So, of course, there's a big question mark on the Texans, but let's say everything goes back to normal. But so Deshaun stays and he's cleared and he's playing for whatever reason week 1. And that means he'll be playing the person that took over after him once he left Clemson. And then it'll be a little Clemson brawl. That'll be great. I'm pretty sure all the coaches and staff at Clemson will be watching that first game. If that's the case, we don't know where we stand with Deshaun Watson. Next, so the top 3. So this is my third most exciting game. I really only have the top 3. So the first one was the Dallas versus Tampa game. And then my next one was the Arizona versus Tennessee game. And then my last one for the top 3 is the Cleveland Browns versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Who knew 2 years ago, 3 years ago, who knew we would ever be saying that? Because Cleveland shouldn't have been in none of that mix. But now, Cleveland is one of my favorites to go far in the playoffs. They got the weapons, man. Oh, they got the weapons. And then, of course, we know Kansas City had the weapons, right? And they just came from the Super Bowl. So, are they going to come and get embarrassed by Cleveland like Pittsburgh did in the playoffs last season? Or are the Kansas City Chiefs going to make the Browns look like the old Browns? That's what we are questioning. So, I mentioned weapons. I've been talking about the different stuff. So, let's talk about some of it. We talking about Baker Mayfield with his come up. Odell Beckham should be back. Nick Chubb in the backfield, Kareem Hunt in the backfield, Jarvis Landry, Rashad Higgins, Austin Hooper. They picked up linemen to help protect Baker. On the D-line, Myles Garrett, Jadeveon Clowney, Denzel Ward at DB now, Greg Newsome the second at DB, Troy Hill, man, John Johnson the third, who's been on my list. Okay, so they still got to come out and prove themselves. That's the catch. You got to come out, prove it that whatever we believe in you is true. So, and the next one, which is under my top three, but it's a good game to watch, is Miami versus New England. So, a divisional rivalry game. So, those are always intense. But more importantly, we need to see what the New England Patriots are going to do, how they're going to stand. We need to see if Tua is, capable of really holding down this job, or is this just another situation where the rookie quarterback is in there and everybody wants it to work out and it never does, and they disappear, one of those sad situations. Hopefully not, because Tua, looked good. They got him one of the most elite receivers coming out of college. Okay, I mean, you've heard me rave about Waddle enough to understand that if this goes as planned, then this could be a great match made in heaven. Will Fuller will actually be out. I mentioned before a couple weeks ago that he got suspended, I think, for like the first 3 games. So he will not be there. But Devontae Parker, I think, will help Jalen Waddle out a little bit. They got some guys in the backfield I'm not too familiar with. But they also had that addition of Jalen Phillips on the D line. So I know a lot of times the first week, especially in games that may not go as planned. So let's say this game is a little more quiet than we expect. You still get to see these rookies showcase themselves. You got, like I said, Waddle and Jalen on one side. And then for New England, you definitely want to check out and see who's the quarterback and see how they do. So if it's Cam Newton or someone else, then that'd be nice to know or see how it plays out. All right, Green Bay Packers versus New Orleans. Don't think much will be there, but interesting to see where Green Bay is at that time, if Aaron is staying or not. Denver Broncos versus the New York Giants. I'm really just hoping to see Saquon come back and put on a show. Now, Denver do have Pat Surtain, so I guess, keep an eye on him as the rookie to look at in that game and see how he do. But don't sleep on New York's receiver pickup, Elijah. So if he's starting, that'll be interesting to see. Then Chicago is the Sunday night game. Chicago Bears versus the Los Angeles Rams. See how both quarterbacks, who the quarterback for Chicago, and then seeing Matthew Stafford, see how he works with the Rams. Seeing those two go at it. And Monday Night Football. All right, which will be coming to you on ESPN or ABC. All right, so everything's kind of still the same for the most part as far as this. But remember, there's a new TV deal in place. But Baltimore Ravens will be playing the Las Vegas Raiders. I'll be watching it because it'll be the only game that day. But hopefully, I'd like to see Baltimore and Las Vegas both up their games from last season. So if that's the case, then we will see a competitive game. All right. So that's week 1. Those are the matchups. You heard where your team was at. Hopefully you're one of the ones I'm excited to watch. Otherwise, we'll come on here that next weekend and be like, what happened on y'all game? I don't even know. Nah, I'm playing. I'll definitely be updating y'all on all the games, results, and thoughts and talks around the league every week in and out as we go through the football season. All right? So, I hope y'all are excited as I am, that's for sure. But, hey, that's week 1. All right? That's what to look forward to as of the weekend of September 9th. Next up, we are going to talk about 2 specific schedules. That'll be in the Kansas City Chiefs and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. All right? But we're going to take a real quick break. Be right back.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Alright, that was my chance impression. Alright, hey, we are back, man. Thank you for your patience as always. And if you haven't been, annoyed yet, we're talking about the schedule, man. I don't know if I annoyed you or if you're just tired of hearing about it because everybody else is talking about it too. But hey, what are we supposed to do? You're going to have all the perspectives you need before going to the season to know, one, if you need to root for your team. Two, if you play fantasy football, who to have on your team. And three, you just got pure entertainment, man. Look, you got my personality and whoever else you watch. I don't know what, channels y'all watch, but you watch them for a reason. You listen to me for a reason. I'm excited. All right? So, in this segment, I did want to specifically, because we'd be here for who knows how long if I went over every team's schedule, which, it'd be kind of repetitive because once you get through it, you'll kind of know who's playing who, right? But we have to talk about the two teams that just came out of this Super Bowl appearance. And the reason it's, significant is because you always talk about, are you taking this team again? We've had our conversations about Tampa Bay. Are you taking Tampa Bay on the field? And then Kansas City, are they, going to be going back every year for the next 10 years because of Patrick Mahomes? You got these ideas, you got these questions, right? Okay, then. Let's talk Tampa Bay. All right. So, first, I'm going to kind of give you an idea of where they stand as far as players as of now and kind of their background. So, of course, they finished second in the NFC South last season, but Brady was able to sweep through the playoffs, get to play Patrick Mahomes. His defense showed up and showed out, shut Kansas City down, and Brady was able to win himself record-breaking 7th championship. All right? Now, as far as who they got. So, they got Brady coming back. All right? You got his boy, Ryan Griffin, backing him up. No, Kyle Trask really is the guy that I think that they want to work on getting into things. But, you got the veteran Blaine Gabbert, too. So, that's what they got sitting at quarterback right now. So, that's just for whatever reason, Tom Brady isn't going to be Tom Brady. But we know he is. All right? Running back, they still got Ronald Jones Jr. and Leonard Fournette. Receivers, Mike. I want to say Mike Jones. Only Houston people get that one. But Mike Evans at receiver. Chris Godwin came back. Antonio Brown came back. Rob Gronkowski came back. I think O.J. Howard's on his way to being back healthy, so, that's a solid tight end. Cameron Brate, solid tight end, backing him up. Scotty Miller was able to show himself last season and help out in the playoffs. He's there. All right. So, the offense, strong. Offensive line, strong. They got good people on that offensive line to help protect Brady, open up those holes for Fournette and Jones, and make that offense rumble and tumble down the field. Defense. As we know, the defense is what won them the Super Bowl. So, guess what? They got all those people back, even though multiple were supposed to leave. They got Ndamukong Suh still, Vita Vea. They got JPP, linebacker Devin White still, Levante David, Shaquille Barrett. And I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I didn't know these linebackers like that until last season. Devin White, Levante David, and Shaq, like, them brothers handled their business at linebacker. That shows you how important good linebackers are. Is seeing what Tampa Bay did last season. They want to put it on Brady because he came there and they won one. So a lot of people was probably looking at it through that lens. But don't be confused. Without that defense, that would have meant nothing. Brady really just picked the right place at the right time, if you ask me, and added just enough of what they needed to get where they're supposed to. So good job, really, to that organization, that staff, for even putting that all together, because they knew something a lot of people didn't know, which they are, like, the most diverse coaching staff in the league. Dun dun dun. Light bulb. There you go. All right. Hey, DB's solid. Antonio Winfield, Jordan Whitehead. Hey, I am sure that this team is still capable, roster-wise, with making it back. But let's see who they play against and how hard the schedule is. So, as I mentioned in the last segment, they do open up the season versus Dallas. So, that, is a good game to see. See that defense go against that offense specifically. Just see two teams that I think are like the two most famous right now, because Dallas is always most famous, and then Tampa Bay just won the Super Bowl, and they have TB12. So, first game of the season, regular season, that's going to be exciting to watch. I already said that. Then next up, they play the Falcons. Not much of a threat there, I don't think, but watching those two veteran quarterbacks go at it is always a good show. Los Angeles Rams, another situation with two veteran quarterbacks, but I don't know how much the Rams are going to bring on offense. Could be a low-scoring game, though, because both of those defense are elite. Sam Darnold in squad for Los Angeles, and then, everybody I just named on Tampa Bay's defense. I think they're going to have a little show out. Both of them landed in the top rankings as far as defenses, points allowed, yards allowed last season. So, can't wait for that. Now, for probably one of the most expensive games that I'm seeing already on the docket, on October 3rd, that Sunday night game is Tampa Bay Buccaneers at New England Patriots. It's Tom's return home game, I guess, and the cheapest tickets are as low as $1,200. That's so funny to me, so entertaining. Oh my God, all those New England fans couldn't wait till Tom came back. They probably gonna try to convince him to stay after the game. Be like, don't go back, man. Stay here in New England, please. We need you. All right. I'm just joking around, guys. That next week, though, he's going to play the Dolphins, going against Tua. So, really, I feel like these are significant quarterbacks. Going against Dak first, going against Matt Ryan, somebody's going for years, Matthew Stafford. Then he plays his old team and whoever they're going to have, probably Cam Newton. We'll see. And then Tua. And, keeping up with him, and however they handle Tua will probably translate into the next week when we discuss how, we're going to go against the Eagles and Jalen Hurts. Two of those guys that were pretty much, the same type of talent coming out of Alabama. We'll see how they handle that. But really, Philly's defense really is going to need to step up. We already know what Miami's defense is pretty much capable of. And they've only, added better pieces. So, Tampa's going to have to watch out there. That's for sure. I wouldn't be surprised for that upset. All right. Hint, hint. I ain't picking them yet, but I want y'all to make note that if it happens, I said it first. All right. Coming toward the end of October, they go against Chicago. All right. And then New Orleans. So, first half of the schedule, I think, is a good tester. I think those are good teams where it's like no one is like just down and out and it's like, oh, that's going to be a blowout, as well as I don't think there's no team that is like, oh, they're guaranteed to for the upset. So, but I think, technically halfway through, knowing that we got 18 weeks because, the bye week and the 17th game now, I think that's a good see where you're at and it works out great for them because their week 9 is actually a bye. So they play their first 8 games straight to see, first half of the season, how things went, how things, checked out for them. And then they get to come back from the bye, play Washington. All right, tough defense. New York Giants, so staying in the NFC East back-to-back weeks. Then go to Indianapolis, play the Colts, then the Falcons, then Buffalo. So with that, I'd actually say I think they kind of they get their bye week. Then they might, actually get to chill a little bit until they have to play Buffalo. Play Buffalo, see where they stand against one of the elite in the opposite division. All right, and then play the New Orleans Saints again, Carolina Panthers, Jets, Panthers. So really, they're going to be tested that first half of the season. We'll see who they are. I think based off the schedule, they do have a good chance of going back as long as they perform well in the playoffs. Okay, but if they shock us and do wrong in the beginning, then that will say a lot for the second half of that for sure. All right. Okay. Now Kansas City. Everyone loves to talk about this team because they're flashy. I'm not going to, beat around the bush. We like seeing Pat Mahomes run around flinging that thing. It's a lot of entertainment. Then he got the people around him that it works out so well with. Tyreek Hill, noted as the fastest receiver, fastest guy in the league. Miko Hardman, who I think is really fast and very impressive as well. And they just picked up Cornell Powell, who a lot of people might be sleep on. That's the receiving core. Running back, they got Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Tight end, Travis Kelce, which, it is what it is. It's Travis Kelce, bro. Literally top 2 tight ends in the league. He be up there with the receivers when it comes to all the stats. Proving himself strong, handling his business. They got Pat Mahomes after they saw what happened in the Super Bowl after, 2 of his best linemen were down. They got rid of guys, brought in some new guys. They definitely knew they had to cover their butts. So what did they do? Well, they lined that thing up. Former Raven, Orlando Brown at left tackle. Former Patriot, Joe Thuney at left guard. Austin Blythe at center. Laurent Duvernay at right guard. And Mike Remmers at right tackle. Sorry. All right. Got some solid backups for him. Really beefing up that thing so that they don't have to go through what they just went through in the Super Bowl twice. And, of course, everybody got to stay healthy, obviously. And then on defense, solid defense. The defense that anybody could ask for if you have a powerful offense like that, at least be able to pay a good group of guys, which they have been so far. You got Chris Jones, Frank Clark, Jaron Reed, and Tim Ward on that line. Willie Gay and Nick Bolton, linebackers, along with Anthony Hitchens, centering that thing out. Tywann Matthew, Jawan Thornhill, really covering deep. Don't sleep on Snead. Don't sleep on Ward or Amani Watts. these guys got some pieces that I think works for them. I think they like, and there's a reason they've been in the Super Bowl 2 years running. All right, they handle their business. That's what they do. So let's talk about their schedule and if I can see them going back. Now they start off bad, man. I gotta admit, they start off real tough. They will play their first 11 games through before their bye week, and they started on a rough note. They started against the Cleveland Browns. As I've already said, it's going to be a tough team, y'all. If y'all didn't notice last year they was a tough team, that guess what? You're going to notice this year because they've only gotten better. That's it. Only. ONLY. Only gotten better. Okay? So they're not going nowhere as of yet. Again, if everybody stays healthy, that's the asterisk on all of this stuff I'm saying. That's going to be a tough game. Second game, they play the Ravens. Like, literally their arch rival outside of their division. Okay? The Ravens been going at them these past 2 years. They've been going back and forth. They've been trying to compete with who has the better, I guess, dual threat quarterback. And guess what? They added some weapons to the team to help him out. So, don't get me wrong. Kansas City is still the favorite. They have the upper hand here. But if they sleep on them, they will get exposed. And third up, Los Angeles Rams is the third week for them. Philadelphia Eagles. And then they play Buffalo, who was the team that they defeated in the conference championship. Buffalo will be coming for Buffalo Blood. They'll have their revenge. It's the revenge game because Buffalo has been watching themselves on the up and up these last couple years, and I'm pretty sure their hearts were broken when they saw it snatched away from them in the last moment. So guess what? The Mafia is looking for you, Pat. The Mafia is coming for you Chiefs, you Chief fans. But look, that's going to be a tough game to win. I guarantee it. That might as well be a division game. All right? Then you get to play Washington football team, then the Tennessee Titans, New York Giants, Green Bay Buccaneers. Oh my goodness, Green Bay, then Las Vegas and Dallas. All right, I think that is a very tough schedule. Lined up the way it is, they are definitely not coming out of that going into their bye week unscathed. Man, it must. I hate to see that it they got to go 11 weeks straight, mainly because of who they're playing. Like I said, that first game is super tough. The game after that is tough. And I mean, don't get me wrong, all of these teams are NFL teams, so they're going to have somebody, they're going to have people on their team that can go at it and make it harder on some people. But I'm saying, like, for every position, at some point through that schedule, they will be challenged to the point that they're going to need that bye week. But it's not till week 12. All right? So, Cleveland, challenging both sides of the ball. Baltimore, challenging their defense. The Chargers, challenging that defense. Philadelphia, challenging the defense. Buffalo, both sides of the ball. Washington, the offense. Tennessee, both sides of the ball, mainly the defense. Giants, the defense. So, look, the defense going to have to work their tails off to keep these teams from scoring because we know Patrick's going to make it happen. All right, Las Vegas, a team that upset at them and beat them when they were trying to go, undefeated last season. They upset that. Las Vegas, Green Bay, both sides, as long as everything stays the same. Both sides are going to hurt them. And Dallas, don't sleep on the defense. They were, known for bad things, but they have some pieces to help turn that around. And, of course, we already know what's going on offense. That's going to be a tough one, man. Super tough. Then going into after the bye week, they come out, play Denver, Las Vegas, and Los Angeles Chargers. Then the Pittsburgh Steelers, Cincinnati Bengals, and then Denver again. So more so division games in there. We kind of know where they stand and how that may go. So, I mean, if I was to, like I said, even though I don't think it's just super simple with Las Vegas or the Chargers, I still believe that is an easier side of their schedule. They make it through those first 12 weeks. They'll be scathed, but if they did good and come out successful with that, then yes, I can see them going back. Especially if they go undefeated. If they go undefeated those first 11 games, then it's a done deal. I'll tell you that. All right, you heard it here first. So at the end of the day, I think the Kansas City Chiefs have the harder schedule. Tampa Bay doesn't necessarily have an easy schedule, but I think it's easier than the Chiefs, as long as everyone stays healthy. And of course, the coaching is the same. It's very hard to see anybody stopping Tampa Bay from going until the playoffs. Going to the Super Bowl is possible to stop, but getting into the playoffs doesn't look like that's going to happen. They should be in the playoffs, and then at the playoffs, that's where we can talk a little bit more about who can stop them from going to the Super Bowl. Because I have chosen the field. I believe we talked about that before, and that's just if I had to bet on it. Of course, I'm not just saying I don't think they would. It was just when we had the conversation on, do you take the field or do you take Tampa Bay? Well, I'm going to take the field because, of course, when we're talking about betting and stuff, which there's no money on the line here. But I would play it safe and say the other 31 teams have a better chance of that one making it. Right? Doesn't that make sense math-wise? Right? Okay. Just all right, cool. And then when it comes to Kansas City, I don't think they'll miss the playoffs either. I don't think they'll miss it. They'll get in one way or another. I'm not sure how they'll be ranked or if it's like a wild card or whatever, but they'll get into the playoffs. They will. But, again, they have to go through a long road, so hopefully everybody stays healthy, and then we'll see how things turn out in the playoffs. In the playoffs, I think they'll get it. If they have it together during the season, they'll go again. They'll go again because it's just not going to work. If they were struggling and it wasn't just happening at all during the season and they barely make it in, then call it. It's going to be two new teams in the Super Bowl. Just wait and see. All right, so that's that on that, as they say. I don't know who says that. I say it, I guess. Next up, we're just going to talk about some hot topics, man, what people are really discussing about what's been released based off of these schedules and other things around the league. So stay tuned. Don't go far. Enjoy this beautiful music and quick commercial.
This is your ultimate stop for everything sports. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Should I say more? From the NFL, MLB, the NBA to MMA, it's all in here. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Listen now.
Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for sticking around this long. It is time for the final segment. In this final segment, of course, I want to go over some of the top talks around the league, man. Rumors or just, the debates that we probably been hearing most frequently on different networks, or if you read an article, things of that nature, right? So, this is it. The one, the only, Tom Brady going for his 8th. All right? That storyline versus Dak Prescott making his comeback going for his first. All right, so on paper, going for an A does sound more interesting when if you're looking through one of those little newspaper things that they have in New York on the road that you pay a quarter and get a newspaper in for. I mean, I don't know if they still have them. I haven't even been to New York. I just see it on television. But yeah, I think that'd be a bigger story. But when we're talking about the actual, as they say, meat and potatoes of the game of football, oh well, then that's easy. We have to go with Dax. Dak what we had last season was a fairy tale story. We had high expectations based off what that roster looked like. Dak unfortunately got injured, so we didn't get to see that continue on. The defense was real shaky, so that couldn't have been trusted. And we saw where they ended up. Now, defense has made adjustments. Offense has pretty much stayed the same, but Dak is coming back, and apparently he's good to go. So, Dak, buddy, I think it's you, man. All eyes on you. We know what Tom Brady is capable of. Tom Brady has shut us all up from the individuals that believed in him this entire time and were like, well, I mean, I don't have to talk no more. Because he's proven it himself and made everybody else be quiet. All right? Everybody that thought he was going to fall off of this cliff, well, exactly. What are you going to say? I had nothing to say. I didn't think he was going to fall off a cliff, but I didn't think he was going to do that doggone good. So, I mean, look, we know what he's capable of. We know what that team's capable of. All of them just went to the bowl. So no one should be surprised or even just, it should be who can stop him, right? Now, I don't think no one's expecting Dallas to necessarily stop them. Again, I'll say it's very possible, but I don't think that's the expectation here, right? And with that not being the expectation, then all they can do is just have a good fight, right? It's like, imagine two people, two kids going at it in middle school, and there's like, a football player versus a guy that's not really in the gym. That's what we'll call him. We're not expecting the guy that's not in the gym to win, but if they put up a good fight, then, I mean, everybody's going to be impressed, right? And, interested in his story, like, as far as he's going to go. So, yeah, man, the bigger story is Dak, man. Those guys getting together, proving all the naysayers wrong. Because if we're being honest, this may be their last chance. I don't think you get another grace year, especially Dak himself getting his payday. If he gets on that field, that's him saying that he's 100% good after his injury. And he's going to have to put all of that money he received where his mouth is. He's going to have to put that football where the end zone is. And that's going to be the only way that really Dak, Jerry, even Zeke, and those guys can prove themselves as being what everybody believes them to be. Because, I mean, my thing is, you can only fool me, a couple times. What do they say? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3 times, and look, there's a whole plethora of answers after the third one. So, he came in, Dak had some great stats. He fought for this. Then it came that he got plenty of pieces. He had his offense. He's ready to go. It's supposed to happen. He was putting up a good fight offensively as he was in the season last season. And then an unfortunate end. So now, don't get me wrong, as sports people respect it. They're like, okay, we're going to back off. You get healthy. You get better. But when you're back on that field, that means you have something to prove. You have something to say. You have something to do, right? So that'll be your chance. That'll be your chance to do that. And I think it will be given fairly. All right. And, this season, for whatever reason, ends up terrible. Because, I mean, the thing is, a good season, if you ask me, well, for the Dallas, I'm sure wants Super Bowl or bust. If you're a Dallas fan, if you're a Dallas organization, I'm pretty sure they're like, go to the Super Bowl or bust. If you ask me, being realistic, I think it's more along the lines of win a playoff game or bust. All right? So you guys win the division. Dak, you win playoff game. Good job. I think you proved your point. I think you did well. But that's just my opinion. Who am I? No, I'm kidding. All right, next topic. Apparently, the Jags and getting Tim Tebow. Everybody there at the organization isn't too thrilled. But the conversation is more around, one, did he deserve it? Two, is it fair? Three, is he even any good? Well, let's start at the end of that one because I think that'll be the easiest answer to give, and that's we truly don't know. Every time anybody runs the story and they want to show a couple Tebow highlights, there are none of him lined up at tight end. Okay, he didn't play that in high school. He didn't play it in college. This is a position he's like, okay, the league won't let me play quarterback, so I'll do this. I think my next best option is this. And I'm pretty sure the organization's not too happy about it because, like I said, they already had 5. I said earlier in another segment, but they already had 5 tight ends. Why do you need 6 tight ends? Who needs that many? You got backups for your backup, and that's if you're going, on a heavy set. Like jumbo package? No, 6? I mean, clearly that means somebody's getting cut. Multiple guys are probably getting cut. For Tim Tebow to live out his dream in the NFL. So let's move on to fairness. When it comes to fairness, I mean, it depends on how you look at it. I hear about, because of course I don't know any of them, but of course I hear about all the guys working their tails off at these different gyms around the nation, working with these former coaches and athletes at different locations in order to get ready, working with, facilities, as far as, people that's on practice squads and all that. A lot of people trying to make a roster, 50 man or however many. So, roster to play in the regular season, to shine, to get the paydays that they're looking for, to support their families. So, if you're looking at it at a point of privilege in that way, that Tim Tebow can basically get the position because of his name and knowing somebody, then, I mean, you can say that, but that's literally what it comes down to is, look, he's based off his history and his connections. That's how he got it. And that's kind of how life is, really, unfortunately. It's less about, what you can do for me and more about, who do you know? All right, that'll get you an ear at least if you know the right people to make your way up in certain organizations. And I'm not even talking about football. Clearly, guys, I'm talking about life. I'm talking about regular, everyday jobs. Sometimes it comes down to that, having that FaceTime with the right people and being able to get that attention just because of who you know. You was able to set up that meeting because of who you know, not because you sent in your resume. Because trust and believe, if Tim Tebow sent in his resume and that's all they had to go off of, he would not have this position. Obviously. Okay? Now, does he deserve it? I haven't seen any film on it. I haven't seen a single split second of him playing the position, making any blocks, catching for yards. Now, again, like I said earlier, he's an athletic guy, so one would assume that he can at least catch a football. I mean, even a quarterback has to know how to catch a football. But now it's like, can you run the routes? Can you run the routes? Can you really hold off the people to make sure Trevor isn't getting injured? And can you be a leader? Because if anything, that's the least he should be on this team, is a leader. Okay? I'd be really interested to see if he's actually good. Like Kelsey Kittle good. That would be very interesting. And almost exciting. Right? Maybe just me. Okay. Cool. So that's my take on Aaron Rodgers. Something that I want to bring up. I haven't really seen too many people talking about it, but a discussion I wanted to create was clubbing in the end zone. DJ, what are you talking about? Well, the Las Vegas Raiders bringing Sin City Club experience to their stadium. So in the back of the end zone, there'll be these booths, for people like, how it is in a club where you got your sections with the couches and the table, and then it'll be a set of those, room for people to stand and everything, and then behind that a DJ booth, so that they can turn up an end zone. I love and hate this idea. I love it because I love a good time, and that looks like the best time for someone like me. You telling me I get to party with my friends like we're at the club and get to watch football live? And I know the food got to be good. It can't be the stadium food. It got to be, club food at that point, right? So they got that, you know what I'm saying? Having a good party, popping bottles, and watching our team score and get hype with them. And shoot, who knows? They might, even come celebrate with us when they score. And that's where I have the problem. I'm all for these guys having a good time and celebrating. But what I'm against and I'm afraid of for them is that the media is going to try to demonize that, man. I think they're going to be like, they're worried about the wrong thing. They're distracted, this and that. Maybe that's why, or maybe even it's not fair that they can have that right there with, when the other team is actually coming toward it. Because I don't know if it's going to be on both sides of the field or just like toward the north or south entrance, exit or whatever. Not sure. Or even if that's where the team comes out of the tunnel, that'd be weird. But anyways, I just don't want people to use it against them. I think it's a good idea by management. I bet it costs a fortune to get a section there. So there's probably even a waiting list. Please, if anybody got a spot, I will be in Vegas this weekend. I know it's not till, later on. But if you hear this, know that I'm in your city. Find me, DJ Youngs. I'm visiting for the first time. I'll be on Strip. You'll see me eventually, I'm sure. Just ask around. And I just, if you have some seats, if you already scheduled, and booked your section for whatever game, can you let me know? And can I come? I want to come and experience it. Just say I was there and partied in the football field during the football game with the gang that I didn't know. Please, for me. All right? But interesting topic, man. I think an interesting concept. I mean, shoot, I'm not even going to lie to you. They might not be the only ones. I can easily see some of the major party cities trying to pick that up. Really, Atlanta next, because, if you've seen what they've done in their basketball arena, you'd understand on why I believe that. But it, I don't think it should be anything negative. I'm just afraid that everybody else is going to make things negative. Okay? All right. Next conversation. All right. So, will the Jets actually show up this year? They have a new coach, new quarterback, new offensive scheme, new defensive scheme. Pretty much everything is new. And clearly that's a good thing. The old way was bad. They lost a lot. But there will be growing pains, plenty of them. The Jets are heading to a 6-11 season is what's predicted. And a lot of people's like, that's as good as it should get for them based off of, what their schedule is. I myself haven't agreed with them. So there's not much. I don't know why people want to talk about the Jets. They simply just do not have a chance. It'd be different, but not different enough. So no more reason to even lay on that. All right? That's where I'm at. Okay, now. The last one, but the most exciting debate. Brady versus Belichick in week 4. I'm not going to lie. I've never been so excited for a coach in a game. Well, not since the first two black head coaches, Tony Dungy and Mike Tomlin, went at each other in the Super Bowl. I think that was what it was. I know it was Tony Dungy for sure. Right? Tony Dungy and the Colts. Actually, no, it wasn't Mike. I think that's when they played the Bears. Can't remember. Okay. Sorry for the mix-up. No disrespect there. Just had a brain fart. But look, Week 4, you have Tampa Bay Buccaneers at Foxborough. I mentioned earlier when I was talking about Tampa Bay's schedule that it's like $1,200 is the cheapest ticket right now. And that's because everyone is ready to see the war that is going to happen between Tom Brady versus his former employers and Bill Belichick versus the kid that he believes just really messed a lot of things up for him. You know, he's somebody that he was trying to get out of there before it was too late. Wanted this new guy that was sitting in the background called Jimmy. Tom went to go tell on him. So Jimmy had to go. Pretty sure, when somebody makes them lose their favorite kid, Belichick was not happy about that. But he was able to get through it, I'm sure. Fine with it because he still had Tom Brady being Tom Brady. And then he goes and wins a Super Bowl right after he leaves you guys. And you know what? Now he has to come to your city where, honestly, he might have field advantage because I don't think the fans are going to be mad he left. He gave him so much, and on top of that, it is technically not his fault. He, felt some type of way. I'm pretty sure if everything was all lovey-dovey the entire time, he never would wanted to leave. This is a guy that was taking less money just so that they could pay other people. He was less worried about where he was at and more worried about the success, of course, reaching their goals. He found out that the Patriot way isn't the only way, so he's been in, Florida having a dang good time. But Bill is a focused man. Bill is a motivated man. Oh, he has so much gasoline on his flames. I'm sure he can't wait. And guess what? He knows Tom better than anyone else. Okay? That Patriots team is going to put in everything they know, psychologically, all the way to the brim. That's the crazy part. This ain't going to stop at just, we know what he can do physically. No. They're going to know how to get to him. They're going to know what he expects. They're going to know what to bring and put in front of him to where he is going to be so lost, so confused that he still has a decent game. But, he might lose to somebody he's not supposed to lose to. Like, no matter who they put at quarterback, unless Cam becomes Super Cam again, Superman Cam from his MVP season, Tampa Bay is not supposed to lose this game. There should be no weather interruption. Everybody, should be. It is in New England, but we're talking about the fall here, early fall at that. Both teams have decent coaching staffs. Both teams have put a good. After we saw what the Patriots had last season and see who's all coming back now and where they stand as far as the athletes that they have availability to, they drafted well too, guys. So now it comes down to this. I don't think it's going to be an easy game for either side. Very much so, I think a defensively strong game. That's what I think is going to. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. Which it's funny because the first game that is open up the season is going to be probably one of the highest-scoring games of the season, if you ask me. So have that be the opener, and then have Tom Brady go against his old team and coach. And 3 more weeks later, I think that's something that's definitely interesting enough to keep a tab on. Tampa Bay is going to have a lot of great games this season. But like I said, they going to have to earn it, man. The Patriots, do not sleep on the Patriots. Do not sleep on Bill. People think, there are some people that out there really think the Patriots' success was all Tom Brady. Like, no matter what they have seen from the Patriots' defense and Bill Belichick, they thought it was only Tom Brady because after he leaves is a year that coronavirus and people don't play and all these things were happening and people were not showing up. And look, all right, it happens. It was a unique year. We got past it. They got past it. They spent more money than they ever have in free agency, breaking all kind of records to get the right people that they needed, loaded up on weapons, drafted well, brought talent back that they needed. God dog it, I guarantee it. This game's going to be the one to watch. This game's going to be interesting enough. And most of the time, you don't want to say that with low-scoring games because that's not entertaining for people. We want to see touchdowns. But, I mean, if you're into the art of coaching, of schemes, of really seeing what they do out there, seeing who shows up, then you're going to want to see this, man. All right? You really are. Bill versus Tom. I do not have a winner in that battle. The favorite, I'm sure, is Tom. I'd say he's the favorite, but I really want to see what both those teams do the first 3 weeks. All right? But, hey, that's the show, man. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, thank you for listening to the GSMC Football Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I would like to ask that you please, if you have not already, remember to subscribe to show some love. Write a nice review. Let me know what you think of the show, the content, myself, my voice. I don't know if I know you. Do I need to talk lower? Do I need to talk higher? I don't know. Whatever you're interested in, just let me know. All right, in the comments. Also, if you can, please follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, GSMC_football. Very interactive with you guys. Tweet us. We'll tweet you back. Thank you. Good night. Good morning. Good afternoon. Whatever it is, everybody, farewell.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.